Dr. Nelum. I'm a GP passionate about lifestyle and metabolic health for women.
And I'm Ronit. I'm a happiness coach, and I support women making this shift, this mind shift, changing their lifestyle to a happy, healthy mind and body.
We believe that true health starts from within, when science, lifestyle, and mindset come together.
And we're unique because we support the whole you. We think that taking care of your mind and body and lifestyle is the only way to have a very, very healthy and good lifestyle.
So let's revolutionize your health together.
Yes, let's do this together. And today's episode, we're talking about something that's very, very close to my heart, and I think everyone else's heart. It's actually sweetness. It's like I think we all need something sweet. Maybe because life is tough and we want to sweeten life.
Absolutely.
And when we're changing lifestyle, we consider sugar as the enemy, and everyone is trying to find an alternative.
Yes.
To eating, the sugar that we're used to eating today. And I want to ask Nelum, do you think there's a problem with seeking an alternative sweetener?
Unfortunately, Ronit, I do think there is.
Okay.
And we have talked about this in the past, and I have done talks about this as well. But I think this is a really important subject.
Yeah.
So first, something recently that I learned, I want to talk about two studies that have come up that are really, I think, highlight this issue. So there was a study done in Singapore 2018, and they took a group of people, and it was in a research facility, and they took this group of people, and they came into the facility in the morning fasted. And you know how you do a group glucose tolerance test when you're pregnant?
Yep.
They did the same thing, but what they gave people were, they gave a bunch of people sugar, like table sugar, aspartame,
Yep.
is a aspartame and sucralose, which are these, what are they? They're artificial sweeteners, and the other one was monk fruit. Okay, and what they did, so they looked at how high in that 2-hour glucose in that 2-hour blood test, how high the insulin levels went. Okay, and they also then, these people stayed in this facility for 12 hours, and they were given a buffet style lunch,
So they could choose whatever they wanted.
yeah, buffet style lunch, buffet style dinner, but they could choose whatever they wanted, but it was all monitored because they were in this research facility. So what they found, which was really interesting, was that obviously the sugar, the person who had the sugar had a big rise in insulin in that 2-hour period, and the other three, there was no rise in insulin. However, within that 12-hour period, the people who had what we call the non-nutritive sweetness, so either they could be artificial or natural, they actually ate far more than the people who had the sugar.
So it's almost like the people that ate the sugar, yes, the sugar went up, but the body was more satisfied.
They could, could maybe, but then then there was another study. I really think it's important, this other study as well, from Copenhagen. Okay, and what they did is they took 100 people, they divided them into 4 groups of 25, and they gave one group, they had to drink sugared soda, so full sugar Coca-Cola, for instance, 1 liter every day for 6 months. Okay, one group was given 1 liter of water for 6 months, 1 liter of milk, and 1 liter of diet cola. Okay, what do you think happened? And then they assessed their weight after 6 months. Any guesses?
Yeah, my guess is that the people that drank the sugary one would increase in weight the most.
Yes, yeah.
The people with water, my guess would be that they wouldn't change anything. Change anything.
Yeah.
People with milk would change up
Yeah.
a little
Yeah,
bit,
yeah,
maybe.
yeah.
And then the people that had the diet one, I think that everyone think that they would not gain anything.
Well,
Which,
you were
Not
50%. You were
Okay.
50% correct.
50%.
Well, a little bit
Means
less.
it's a guess.
So basically, yes, the people on the full sugar Coca-Cola gained 10 kilograms in that 6
Was
months.
it the most?
Yes,
Okay.
that is the most.
Okay.
People who had the 1 liter of water actually lost 2 kilograms.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Then interestingly, the people who had a 1 liter of milk stayed steady.
They did.
Yes, and you'd think
Wow.
that's interesting, isn't it? And that's because it's full fat milk. The fat kept them full. So therefore, even though they were, we say that milk has a bit of carbs in it, but overall, it's like you're eating a meal, so it keeps you full. So subsequent meals you eat less. But the diet cola, they gain 2 kilograms. So so that's the thing, right? So why do you think what do you think happens here? Why do you think this happens? Because there is a hypothesis.
I mean, I think from what you said in the past is that when we eat sugar, the brain saying, I'm preparing myself for a time that I'm not going to have this thing.
Yes.
And
it's more about, so it's this term called nutritive mismatch. Okay. So let's go. So Ronit, let's say we were living 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
All right. And you were out and about, and you had something sweet.
Yeah.
What would that be? What was sweet?
I think in nature it would be honey. It would be fruits.
Yeah.
Mainly honey, fruits. I'm guessing people 1,000 years ago discovered that the maple had things.
Dates,
Dates
yes.
would be dates, by the way, was in the past for many years an emergency thing, or you take yourself traveling, they would take dates with them.
Exactly. Yes. So we all know now that all of these things that we talked about, they are high in sugars, right?
Yes.
They come with calories.
And why do we need them? Because we need energy.
Yes.
So basically sugar translates to it give me fast energy.
Yes, exactly. So, and when are these things available? Usually they're available generally in summertime or in springtime. So coming up to, historically, people used to have these and they would gain a bit of weight. If you had, like bears do, have all those berries, you would gain some weight. But the brain knew that it's all right, because next season coming up is usually a season of hardship.
And the thing is that it's not just that the brain says it's okay. The brain actually says that's what I need in order to prepare myself for winter, that I'm not going to have enough food, that it's going to be hard for me to hunt and so on. So I need to prepare myself for a time that I'm not going to have everything available.
That's right. So therefore, it kind of matched, so the brain knew how much. So this person ate this many, calories. Yes, I know exactly how much there is. This person is going to survive winter.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Yes.
That's what, right? So now let's talk about today.
Okay.
We have sweet, and it comes with calorie.
Yes.
And then we have sweetness or sweetness that doesn't come with calories.
So if I understand it correctly, when we eat something sweet, like a fruit, like honey, like all those things, and that is it comes with an energy that the brain says, cool.
It can tick off. It can
it says, cool, I'll be able to use this one in winter.
Yes.
Or later on when I don't have enough.
Yes.
And then when we eat something that is
like a sweetener
that doesn't have energy, it doesn't have any energy in it, then the brain says, ooh, something's
the brain
wrong.
now is confused because now there's sweetness,
but
there's no energy associated
I
with
cannot
it.
use this thing for winter.
Yes. So now, and this, we've talked about this before, Ronit, we are the same human that lived on this planet for 200,000 years. So our genes haven't evolved. This is the same brain, and its main task is to keep us safe.
Exactly.
Now the brain is confused. It has lost its predictive ability.
So we said that before, and we keep saying it. Everything is wired for safety. Okay. So when you eat sugar, the brain says, cool, I think you'll be safe in winter.
Yes.
When you eat something that is sweet, but I cannot use this, then now you are not safe.
Well, the brain just has lost that ability. So the analogy that's given, so this is really beautifully explained in a book called The End of Craving by Mark Schatzker. And I really encourage you to read it. It's great. But Ronit, so what the analogy that he gives is, imagine if the petrol gauge, we'll just say petrol gauge in your car is not working.
Yeah.
Okay, if it's not working, what behavior would that prompt you to do or change because that petrol gauge
Let's go back for a second, okay? If you are the car,
yeah,
then when you eat sugar, your brain says, okay, I can use that petrol for that amount of time. This is the winter, I need to go from here to here, that's fine. When you eat a sweetener that doesn't...
Yeah, but wait. I want to give the analogy. Okay. So what behavior change would that make you do? Like if the petrol gauge isn't working.
Basically, if the petrol gauge is not working, then I don't know if there's enough petrol. So what I do is every day I get up in the morning and I just tell myself, I don't know how long this will drive. Let's put petrol in there. And then let's put petrol in there again and again because we don't know how much petrol we have.
Exactly. So that is exactly what you were saying. So that's what happens to us, right? So because now the brain can't predict.
It cannot tell how long can you ride on that thing.
And because the brain's most important function is to protect us, you will be driven to eat more over a period of time because that is not something that's going to be within your conscious control.
Yeah.
It will, and that's what those studies suggested, right?
Exactly.
So
it's not something that you could say, no, I'm a strong person, I can. No, it's biological, chemical. So at the moment when you don't have enough petrol, or we don't know if you have enough petrol, then you're going to be drawn to eat more and definitely sugary things, because the more sugary they are, you'll be safer.
Yes. So this is what happens. So in the long run, and this is all because it's an insulin response. It's not calories, right? So that's the problem.
And okay, so now I want to say something about people that are starting this lifestyle, and a lot of people do say, okay, does it mean, Nelum, that I'm not going to touch any of those sweeteners, or does it mean no stevia, no xylitol, no aspartame, no whatever, monk fruit? Just for you to know, by the way, I want you to know that when they say monk fruit, please read the label. It says monk fruit, and then just look at the back of the monk fruit and realize that there's 1% monk fruit and 99% erythritol.
Yes.
So just for you to know. So
Ronit,
there is also, they're talking about allulose, that there's something good about this. But generally, does it mean that not good for us to have any sweeteners?
No, listen, if you are on a whole food lifestyle, whole food low carb, then having a little bit of a treat. I know that, when your granddaughter comes and visits you, you might make a treat. And if you have a little bit of a sweetener in there from time to time, it's fine.
Yeah, I've started lately using dates in the
that's
things
right.
that I
Yes.
make her.
So, but also, Ronit, I mean, you talk a lot about addiction and things like that.
That's
So,
true.
so there is there is a role for sweetness there. What do you think about that?
Look, I actually think what I can say from experience is that when you change your lifestyle, your desire for sweet things basically drops significantly.
Yeah.
Why? Because you just have enough energy.
And,
you don't
and the
need
palate changes as well.
If
Yeah.
I eat now something that has sugar, real sugar in it, like table sugar in it, we have a joke that it's like I can feel it in my in my ears. It's like it's too sweet.
Yes.
I think the fact that it's too sweet is not the issue. Is that it's actually not tasty.
Yes.
It's not tasty
because
for me.
yeah, but then that's the problem, then, isn't it? When you have so one of the ways that people are advised to use these sweeteners is to kind of get over that sugar addiction.
Exactly. So I personally think that it's a wonderful transitional process. Me, Ronit, would not touch aspartame or those sweet and low, all those things that has the things that are very, very damaging, in my opinion, are really, really not good. From the natural ones, pick none of them. Zero is equivalent in taste to sugar.
Yes.
Some of them have a bit of metallic taste.
Yes.
Fine.
They're actually a lot sweeter than sugar.
They are. I mean,
Yeah.
even stevia, they say it's like
It's hundreds of times.
Yes, 300 times
Yes.
more than sugar.
Yeah.
So, but my suggestion is that if you're looking for something as a transition, try the different ones, the natural different ones. Xylitol, erythritol, monk fruit, allulose is very. They're not, by the way. They're not the same. Some people says that a combination of them is easier, and so
Yes.
try them, but use them as a transition one, not as I'm going to eat exactly as I ate before. I'm just going to eat them with a different sweetener.
What they say in this book, Dopamine Nation, which is Anna Lemke wrote this about addiction. She said really the best way to treat addiction is just to go cold turkey.
Cold turkey.
So that's one thing. Secondly, if you are having this, and Ronit's right, having this as a gradual transition works, but the only thing is you don't get that change in that palate, because it
just takes longer.
Yeah,
the thing
that's
is
right.
this: when you are using it as a transition, then the process of cleaning your palate just going to take longer. It is going to take much longer.
Ronit, can you remember we went, was it last year? We went to a weekend, a learning weekend, a low carb learning weekend, which was sponsored by, well, we won't say the name, but it was a
sweetener sponsorship.
And so there were so many desserts.
It was basically a little bit of food and a lot of dessert the whole weekend. And we want you to know that it's just, it changes the way you think. It actually distorts the way you think. It's almost like if you think that the idea is that you just eat now more of those sweets
because it's now not sugar.
No, it's a mistake.
Yes.
Why? Because you're still putting in your head, in your body, a petrol that has no energy
That's
in
right.
it.
Yes.
Do you understand?
So sweetness without the nutrition. So non-nutritive. So it's a nutritive mismatch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you the nutrient that you want. So stay away from them.
please
Try
be
to
careful.
limit them, and remember that your body needs energy, and no, sweet is not necessary the energy that you need. And so if you liked our episode talking about the sweeteners and how to transition and what to do and what happens in your brain, if you like it, we encourage you to subscribe, to share, to like, and help us spread the word. Hopefully we'll get to as many people as we can, that they will take care of their health and well-being. Thank you.
Bye.